Hello Stampers, it's Judy Klock at Stampin' with Crafty Klock here today for another quick little lesson at lunch. And today we're going to be working with this beautiful black and white designer series paper that's in the annual catalog called Perfectly Penciled. You get a total of 12 sheets, it's all black and white, that you can use to color in. And today we're going to talk about some different coloring techniques. I love black and white paper because I think it's really easy to make the projects really pop with all the different colors that you can add. And we're going to show you 3 really easy techniques that you can use to create beautiful, whoops, I didn't show you the back of that one, some beautiful projects with this really pretty black and white designer series paper. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one I want to show you is so quick and so easy. And of course, I don't know where I put my paper that I had already cut and ready to go. Here we go, I found it. I put it away. In my effort to be nice and organized, I ended up putting it away. But here I have just a piece of that Perfectly Penciled designer series paper. This is cut to 3 by 5. And I'm just going to take a blending brush and my ink pad, and I'm just going to add just a touch of color to this paper. So I'm just going to kind of start off over here, and I'm just going to kind of add some color to the upper and lower corners. And I'm just going to flip that around. I'm going to add a little bit more color. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. And once you have that done, you can add that to a card base. I'm going to show you. Here's a really simple card base that I added that to. This is our Orchid Oasis. We've got some fresh freesia, and we've just mounted that piece of paper right on top of that fresh freesia. And I used the fresh freesia ink. But how quick and easy was that to create a really pretty card? And I just cut this label. This was from the Nature's Prints. It's part of the Sun Print suite, and I just cut that 2 labels. I cut one in basic white, one in that Orchid Oasis, and I just split the Orchid Oasis one in half and just glued it on the back of that one in basic white, added some iridescent rhinestones, and there you have a quick and easy little card. So that was our first coloring technique. And just so you know, I only have about a dozen of these brushes. So what I do is when I'm done here, I will go soak this in warm water. And I'm also a Norwex consultant, so I use my Norwex Ultra Powder Plus detergent. And once I soak this for, like I'll soak it overnight, all the color will come out and this brush will be as good as new. So I don't have to have one for every color because I clean them so well when I'm done that I can save some cash. Now the next one I want to do is we're going to use our stamping blends. And this is really, again, it's a quick little easy one because you can color in as many of these flowers as you want. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just kind of color in. I'm taking my light polished pink, okay, and I'm going to just color in these flowers really quickly. I'm not going to do the whole, I'm just going to color in these 3 for now, but I'll show you the card. But as you can see, you can just color in really quickly once you use that brush tip. And because these are alcohol based, they go on really quickly and really smoothly. And then I'm just going to come back in here with my dark, and I'm going to add some dark shading towards the center, and kind of wherever I saw that shading on my designer series paper, that's kind of where I'm going to come back in with the polished pink dark marker. And that's going to give me that shading that was kind of already there. You can kind of see it here, like we've got some darker areas. I'm just going to go back over here with the darker polished pink, and that's going to give me some shading variation. All right, so you can color in just like 3 of those and leave that. You can color in as many as you want. But when you're done, I did color in all of the flowers on this set and just added it. I mounted it on a piece of polished pink cardstock. Put that on top of basic black. Pink and black are one of my favorite color combinations. I don't know why. I added a couple of iridescent rhinestones, and I just kind of added a little bit of that polished pink edge to my label just to kind of make that pop even a little bit more. Okay, I didn't finish this, I have to put my inside in there. But that's the outside of the card, and those were colored with our Stampin' blends. All right, and last I want to show you what you can do with our watercolor pencils and our blender pens. So I've got some watercolor pencils, and I'm going to color, let's see, I'm going to color some flowers in our Flirty Flamingo. Okay. I'm just going to kind of color one at each. Okay, we've got some Flirty Flamingo. We've got some Gorgeous Grape. I just thought these colors worked well together. So we've got some Gorgeous Grape here. And this is therapeutic. If you like to color or you like to de-stress, coloring can be very therapeutic and very stress relieving. So, and then I'm going to come back in here with a little bit of our Daffodil Delight. Color in another flower. And I like watercolor pencils because they can be very forgiving. See, I'm not really going really far to the edges. I'm just kind of like really taking a lot of liberty with this and just kind of throwing my color on there. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some garden green with my stems over here and my leaves. And again, I'm not really coloring like all of them in. I'm being very, I guess, wild and free with my coloring. Very liberal with my coloring there. And then I'm going to come back with our blender pens. And these have kind of like just a liquid in there. And I always clean off my tip to make sure I don't have a color on there. And then I'm just going to go back over my colored image. And that just kind of blends those pencil lines and gives it more of a watercolor look. I'm going to clean my tip again. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow. And as I color, any white spaces that I left will now be filled in with the color and the liquid from my blender pen. Okay, and you can see there's the color coming off. I'm going to go here and color in the Gorgeous Grape. Okay, clean that off, come back here and do the same thing with the Garden Green. So again, it kind of smooths out those pencil lines and gives it a little bit more of a watercolor look. And I'm going to come a little bit there. Now I have some green on here, so I can go and color another leaf. And that would give it a light green shade. So there's a lot you can do with our watercolor pencil and our blender pens. And then that you can mount. And there you have just another card, just coloring that in with our watercolor pencils and our blender pens. So those are the 3 different coloring techniques I wanted to share with you today with that beautiful Perfectly Penciled Designer Series paper. So we have our watercolor pencils and our blender pens. We've got our Stampin' Blend markers, our light and dark Stampin' Blend markers. And then we've just got some ink here with a blending brush and just kind of gently shaded in some of that paper just to give it a little bit of a different hue. All right, so that is it for this edition of Lesson at Lunch. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll give some of these coloring techniques a try. And don't forget to let me know what you tried and how you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching on replay, please go ahead and put #replay. Have a great week, everybody. I will see you next week. Bye now.